Okay, so far we discussed the master data and then what are the concepts of MRP. So today we are going to discuss how to run MRP and then how to analyze the results of MRP. This is what we are going to discuss. So MRP logic we discussed yesterday. Just to see it again, we need to have the planning parameters in Metal Master. So yesterday, Sigmund, when he was updating the demand in system, he was facing a problem that there is no requirement type because there is no required data in the MRP3 view.
Yes, sir.
We discussed that MRP3 view is the demand related parameters. Only if the strategy is filled there, accordingly we can fill the details in the demand. So that is why now the parameters in Metal Master is important.
Yes, sir.
And then demand from PAR, right? It is not only the demand from PAR, what I wrote here, it may be from other requirements also. For example, we have the gear motor as the demand for which gearbox will be required. Then further we'll have input output subassembly. Then further we'll have components. So that is the demand from PAR. So here gearbox requirements are coming as the dependent requirement, starting from the demand. So for MRP, for the input output, what is the header item? That is the gearbox. In this case, that gearbox is not the independent item, it is a dependent item. But the gearbox requirement is worked out from the gear motor. So that is the independent item. So we saw that yesterday one chart we saw that once MRP is run, then it will go back to the dependent requirements, then it will see that the material requirement planning. Like that, it will do a complete cycle. And once it plans all the purchase items until the bottom level BOM, it will start from the level 0 until the bottom level, it will run all MRP. That is what is the MRP cycle here. Once it is exploding the BOM, it will check what are all the materials required, how much is required. Also, it will check what is the inventory available or any open purchase orders are available. So based on these things, gross requirement is converted into net requirement. So gross requirement is as per BOM what we need. Net requirement is after reducing the available stock, and also probably we may have open purchase orders. So for example, I have that 500 tires requirement. If stock is there for 100 and there is a purchase order I raised already for the metal for 100, which means the 200 numbers already there. 100 as a stock, 100 as a purchase orders. So net requirement is only 300. That is what the gross to net. Then procurement proposal. So whether it is the in-house production or external purchase, those kind of proposals will come. Also, if there are any deviations, exceptions will come. This is the output of the material requirement planning. So these are the inputs. What's happening in MRP? This is output. So hope this is clear. So if you have any doubt in this, please let me know before we proceed.
No, sir.
No, okay.
Even I have the same issue, sir. I unable to fill it demand yesterday because it said requirement type it's not available. So I didn't do it, sir. Now I got it.
See, that is why when you're creating Metal Master, you have to be very careful. What I told you, please refer the Metal Master which I created. And I am explaining you these views again and again. I am referring these views again and again. MRP1 means planning parameter. MRP2 means procurement parameter. MRP3 means it's a demand requirement parameters. Like that, I'm telling it again and again. Which means that you...
Sir, I got it, sir.
No, I'm telling. See, this is what you will be facing with your users also. Whatever I'm telling you, it is not to find a fault with you. Okay. The same problem you will face with your users. Most of the issues will be coming from the master data only. Most of the issues when you are on daily incidents, what people are raising, they will be all coming from master data or wrong transactions. Also, segment, whenever you find some problem, first try to find out what is the solution, maybe from Google. First, you try to find out the solution by yourself first. Okay, like in Google, you can put it. For example, when I'm entering the demand, the message what is, or you can do one thing also. What is the message coming there? Now that you can copy and paste it in the Google. You will have, because many people facing the problem. It's not only you. Hundreds of people who are facing this problem. Don't think that you are alone. So once you put them in the Google, right, you will get some answer for this. Or if you don't find the answer, then think about the discussions what we had, and then maybe accordingly you can raise this point. Also in the group you can raise that problem. Then you should also raise what is the solution you arrived at. Okay, both the things you do, because this is why. What is the purpose of forming this group? It is to share your experience with others. Okay. So whether you face the problem, whether you find the solution, whatever it is, please share in the group. Okay, right.
Yes, sir.
So next, so MRP when it is running, the first step, what will happen? System will go and do some planning file entry. This planning file entry means MRP has to run for what? If I have same situation today, for example, there is a demand for 100, there is a stock for 50 or 40, system has given the proposal for 60. This is the situation today. And tomorrow when I go and run MRP, again the same thing will come. There is no change. This means there is no need of planning there. So the planning file entry will not be there if there is no change. So for any change, for whatever change is happened, for that only we need our plan. Either stock would have depleted, or demand would have increased, or you would have executed the production, or you would have received the stock for purchase order, or the purchase requisition partially convert to purchase. Like this, some changes would have happened either in supply or demand. When those kind of changes are happening, the planning file entry will happen. When the planning file entry is happening, the net requirement calculation, that is what we discussed earlier. Right? Yesterday we discussed in detail how the net requirement is calculated. And then the lot size calculation and procurement quantity. How the lot size has to arrive, what is the procurement quantity. Those details are arrived. Then system is arriving these numbers. Then scheduling is happening. Like when we have to start, when you have to finish, right? For the planned orders. Planned order means for production. What is the finish date? What is the start date? If it is purchase requisition means what is the delivery date? What is the release date? So those schedules will be happening depending on the lot size, depending on the lead time, depending on the quantity. As of now, everything is based on the master data coming from Metal Master. All the details coming from Metal Master. Then procurement proposal. It is telling that how much we need, right? In-house production or external, all these things will come. And then BOM explosion. This is the step. No, yesterday we saw in a different way that right from net requirement until the BOM explosion. Yesterday we discussed in the other format, but this is how system will work as a sequence.
So you're not sharing anything, no, sir?
Oh my God. What they are so late you are telling? I am sorry.
No, sir.
I was telling this MRP logic yesterday, right? This is what I was briefing again. Planning parameters, okay? Then demand from PAR, bill of materials, status, MRP, planned order, production order, purchase order. And then we discuss about these steps, the planning file entry. Planning file entry is what? It will be there if there is a change in either from supply side or from the demand side, planning file entry will be triggered. Only if the planning file entry is there, system will start the MRP. If everything is same, why should system run MRP? The trigger will not be there. Then net requirement calculation. Then we have the lot size calculation, procurement, calculation of order quantity. Then we have the scheduling, calculation of the dates, procurement proposal, and BMS portion. These are the things which we discussed yesterday, but in a different format, right?
Understood, sir.
Okay. Now, when you are running MRP, MRP can run based on different base. Like you can run the MRP on plant or on material or based on product group or MRP controller or planning need, like that. Depending on the need, we can run the MRP in different bases. For example, MRP can be run based on the MRP type, major type. The MRP types are what? MPS and MRP. MPS means master production scheduling. MRP means material requirement planning. So the MPS, as I told yesterday, these are used for finished product and critical assemblies.
Or semi-finished good.
Yes, semi-finished good or sub-assemblies.
Yeah. Okay.
Or if there is any critical component which you need to plan on daily basis. So what will happen? MRP type will be assigning for these items as M0. And for MRP, we will be assigning MRP type for PD. In our example also, for the gearboxes and the sub-assemblies, we put M0 as the MRP type. For component raw material, we use the MRP type PD, other than the reorder point. Reorder point, we used VB. So these are 3 MRP types we used. Now let us discuss the 3 MRP types. And then you can explore other MRP types. Because first you have to understand how MRP is running based on these 3 concepts. So MPS, as I told, it is for the finished product, semi-finished product. The reason we can run MRP for M0 items on daily basis. I touched this point yesterday. For example, orders coming from customers. It will be coming for the finished product on daily basis. So I have to run MRP for them on regular basis. So any change in the production for those kind of items, I need to monitor and do it. But the lower level components and raw materials, if I go and change or if I go and run MRP on daily basis for those items, it will create a lot of chaos for the purchasing team. They will see, yesterday one purchase requisition, today there was change in the purchase requisition, tomorrow there will be reduction in purchase requisition, there is increase in purchase. Like this, they will keep on changing. So if it is keep on changing, that is going to create problem for them. Because today they will say, I need purchase requirement for 100. Tomorrow, because of some reasons, it may become 95 or 105. Then they will go and change, no, it has to be 95 or 105. Then what will happen to your supplier? He will get mad. Even first of all, your buyer will become mad. Then your supplier will become mad. Then you will not run the business. So what we can do? We can do the MRP run for this kind of components and raw material once in a week. Nothing is going to happen. Once in a week, if you run MRP, nothing is going to happen for those kind of items. Or if the items lead time itself is very low, less than a week, then running in a week basis, it may not be required. For those items, probably you need to define them as either as a M0, so that it will run on daily basis, or we can create a special MRP type and we can facilitate that to run on daily basis. That option also we can do it. That depends. Okay. So this is a MRP run based on MRP type. Other thing is MRP can run for entire plant. For whole the plant, we can run MRP, or we can run MRP for individual material also. Depends on the need. And then MRP can run on the product group. There's one a big product, a small product, like that. That is used in the sales and operations planning, like that. Okay. So this is the traditional MRP. This is a traditional MRP which was used in ECC, not in S4HANA. It was used in ECC, not in S4HANA. This is a change. In ECC, the transaction was there are many transactions you can see here to run MRP. To run MRP, you have many transactions. MD02, multi-level single item planning. MD03, single level single item planning. MD43, single item planning interactive. MD50, single item planning for a particular sales order. These are the things which are for like individually if we run. If I want run online means MD01, which is it will run for entire plant. But in ECC running an entire plant, that will create a lot of effort. It will require a lot of effort. Also, it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of time if you're running MRP. So that is why they will use MDBT. MDBT is the background job. They will schedule this. So that every day night.
Okay. No. Same. You answered the question.
So every day night, the MRP will run, or early morning it will run, depending on the business situation. For example, early morning 4 o'clock, activities will not be there much. Then they will schedule it at 4 o'clock. If it is 24 hours running business, they will find out which is the where minimum transaction happen. For example, even there is a 3 shift, no. So when the second shift is completed, in the night shift, after some time, there will not be any much transaction. So at that time, they will facilitate this. Okay. So like that, where the minimum transaction is, that will do. If there are no 24 hours means which shift it is not working, accordingly they will plan this in background. So the MRP will run and consider that what is the stock available at that time, what is the demand, what are the open orders, whatever we discuss in the MRP logic, it will consider, then we'll run MRP and complete it. After completing the MRP, system will give the results also. What is the MRP run? What are the things happen? Okay. Right. Understanding of this MRP selection parameter itself is very important for the planners, like a master scheduler and MRP controllers. So here, what I'm telling master scheduler is a person who is coordinating the demand with the sales and other teams, like demand manager, or demand coordinator, or master scheduler. Different names are given to different people for this kind of role. But the person who is coordinating the demand, you should know what are all the parameters which are important. So accordingly, he has to plan these things and run the MRP. Right. Next is that MRP run selection parameters. So here we can see a lot of selection parameters here. So the first is that we select what is the plant, material. This is screen from ECC, not from S4HANA. We will not see this screen also.
So which transaction is this? MD01? Which transaction?
No, this is individual material. This is MD02.
MD0. Okay.
This transaction. So here I put the material. What is the MRP area? What is the plant? See here, if you want to have product group, we can select this product group and run. Now, here we have this MRP control parameters. For example, this is called processing key. This processing key is mentioning what kind of MRP run. It will say that whether the system has to run MRP, whatever the change happen in the total horizon, whether it has to consider all the total horizon, or system has to consider in the planning horizon. Planning means you will put 8 weeks plan or 10 weeks plan. Only those things you have to consider. That is the total planning horizon. Net change in the planning horizon, or NEUPL, which is online regenerative planning. This means entire proposals, whatever created by system earlier, they will be rewritten. Now, in S4HANA, they removed this NETPL. Now they are using only NETCH and NEUPL, because whether planning horizon or total horizon, that S4HANA is now having the new database. The new database is able to run faster, 1,000 times faster than the earlier ECC. So this was the restriction which they were given to reduce the effort for the system. But now, because there is no restriction in the capability of the system, they removed this option, second option. That once you go to the system, I will show you. Next is that create purchase request. So here the options are whether we want to create purchase request, or whether we want to create the purchase request in opening period, or we want to create the planned orders. So there was an option that even for purchasing items, whether system has to create purchase request or planned order. Okay. Normally, what I was telling you, during MRP run, planned orders are generated for production, purchase request is created for purchase items. But in ECC,
Yes.
there was option to create planned order also, because there are companies where working that they do not want that purchase request directly created and allocated to the buyers. They wanted that to be done by the planners. So the planners will go through these all the purchase related planned orders. If it is really to be procured only, they will convert the planned order to purchase request. So that is the option it was given there in the planned orders. Okay, now that is not
it
there.
possible, sir?
Sorry?
Sir, planned order normally it will generate for the internal production, right?
That's
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
explaining here.
So
I
could you
never
re-
came across this
yeah.
kind of situation. That's why
could
I'm
you
asking you.
yeah. So could you repeat this thing what you explained? Because as Kani said, the plan orders are only for internal operations. So
Correct.
the
See, now what I explained you in MRP will create planned orders for in-house production items, purchase request for purchase items. That is a general thing. But in some organizations, they do not want the purchase request to be generated directly and assigned to the purchase people, buyers. So what they will do, they used to have this option that they select this option 3 so that even for purchase items, planned orders will be generated.
Okay.
Then the respective MRP controller, that is the planning person, will go through all these planned orders identified for purchase and convert them into purchase request. Then only the buyer will be able to see those purchase requests. So that the purchase will not do the procurement just like that, which is coming from system. Before that, there was a evaluation from the planning team. But in new ECC, where no, this is what I am telling is the ECC, but in the S4 HANA, this option is not there.
But why they've taken this option from the new system? Because there is a good safety check for the buyers, right, sir?
It's a duplicate work, no? It is a duplicate work. Buyer himself can be taught and he can analyze it, right? It is a non-valued activity. Yeah? Planner should focus on some other activities. Again, he is checking what is to be buy and what are the things he has to do. He should focus on the production. He should check whether the purchase proposals have come properly or not. Those things he had to focus. Again, taking these planned orders and converting them. What will happen now? They will take collectively all the planned orders. They will convert them into purchase request and give it. There will not be proper control. They will not be used also. But there are some what is that enhancement in SAP. Okay, with that again in S4 HANA also there is a possibility that planned orders can be generated, but directly you cannot create the planned order. So let us focus now that purchase request is created for a purchase, planned order is created for production. But again, there is a possibility through some enhancements. The enhancement means there is also some standard programs available in SAP. Those can be activated to get some special features done. These things, again, after you understand the basic things there, you can start to explore them. What are the enhancements? Because even I am not explored to all these enhancement and other things so far. Okay. This is the scheduling agreement line items. For example, these are the things which are specific to the schedule agreement related items. It is not related to the purchase. Okay. For purchases through scheduling agreement, whether system has to create schedule lines or they should not create schedule lines or schedule line in the opening period. Opening period is what? Where did we discuss this opening period? Where did we discuss?
Sir, when demand, when you input the demands,
No,
demand and delivery.
opening period we discuss in other parameter, in one of the metal master parameter. What is opening period? We discussed this in the schedule margin key. Remember?
Yes, sir.
In schedule margin key, we have this opening period, before float, after float, those things we discussed. Do you remember?
Yes, sir. Floating parameters, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you have to know Okay, slowly, please come to the line.
Yes.
See, if you practice, no, then you can try all these combination, check it. But you guys are not doing even basic practice. That is the concern for me. And some of the people are not attending session also. What is this? For this, all of you could have seen only the YouTube. So MM03, you are seeing the SAP screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is, remember, sorry, MRP2, the schedule margin key.
Yes, yes.
See here, opening period is 0 here.
Mhm.
Here this is 10, this is 2. So what you should do now, you have to change this schedule margin key. Then you have to check what is happening. That is what after this MRP run, you have to do all these trials. So far you are creating master data. Now onwards, you need to do the transaction, different transaction, and try to understand. For example, if I use 00 schedule margin key, how the results are coming, that you have to evaluate. Take note of this. These are some assignments for you to learn properly. The impact of schedule margin key after MRP run. Okay. Use schedule margin key 00. See what is happening to the planned orders and purchase requisitions. Okay. And then this. Impact of schedule margin key 000 and 001 on planned orders. That is the opening date, start date, finish date, etc. And then PR on opening date, release date, delivery date. Okay. So use this both because this is 00 everything, but here 10, 1, 2, 5. So it will give you a good idea the variations. Okay. Right. Now that is the schedule. Okay. Now the opening, what is that opening period which I was telling? Here this was there in the opening period here also. Sorry, where is it? PR in opening period, or here is the schedule line. The next parameter is create MRP list. Here there was option to create the results of MRP and showing the MRP list. MRP list was the option. Again, I'm telling you, this was the option used in ECC. So these are many things which I'm telling you what was the difference between ECC and S4HANA. This is one of the main difference. Okay. Difference between ECC and S4HANA. MRP list was there in ECC. It is not there in S4HANA. Okay, I will explain you what is this. Okay, so what are the other things we discussed that I want you to list out? There are many things which I told you. Okay, what are other differences between ECC and
NETPL is not there. Process key NETPL is not there in S4HANA.
No, that is okay. I'm telling that not only this one, right from beginning, no, in various places I told there's the differences between these, right? Like for example, the vendor, okay, it is replaced with the business partner.
Business partner.
Right? And then I told you production version was not required in ECC for discrete manufacturing, but it is mandatory in S/4HANA for in-house and subcontracting. Don't think that I'm going to share this document with you. Okay, you need to take the notes. Okay, so like this, right? You need to learn this. So again, there are two things. One is that maybe within your organization, or when you go to some other organization, if you want, if there is a ECC already there, because ECC is not completely removed. It is still there in many organizations. It will go up to 2027, 2028. So if you're going to some new organization, there may be some still ECC they may be using. Okay, that is why I'm keeping this content still there in this course. Okay, right. So this is the MRP list. MRP list is what? After running MRP, system will give some results. What we discussed, no? This is the planned order, this is the purchase request, this is the purchase order, like that. That list is called MRP list, and that particular list will not change until next MRP run. That is called MRP list, which is static list. It is like a photograph. It is taking the photograph of the results of MRP and keep this list. But that is called MD05. The transaction for MRP list is MD05. But what we are seeing what we are discussing and seeing is that stock requirement is MD04. That MD04 is a dynamic list, which means that if I do some transaction, that will keep on changing, it will keep on updating. The MRP list is also stock requirement list, but that is a photograph of the result immediately after MRP run. Then after MRP run, if I do some transaction, things will change. That the changes will reflect in MD04. But that MD05 will not have any change. That is the difference between MRP list and stock requirement list. Okay. Normally in the ECC related interviews, when you go, no, people used to ask this: what is the difference between MRP list and stock requirement list? MD05 and MD04. Okay. So, but here now there is option whether we have to create a MRP list, or depending on the exception message, if there are exception messages created, or no MRP list. There are options. Create MRP list. And then planning mode. What kind of planning we have to do? Right, how the system has to define the proposals from the last planning run. For example, adapt to the planning data, which means there are some already purchase requisitions or planned orders. Do not change the number of that particular purchase request planned order, but only the quantity, other things we change it according to the new situation. Don't change the purchase request number, planned order numbers. Change the quantity, date. Right? Or another option is re-explore the BOM and routing. I want the system to re-explore the BOM and routing for the procurement proposals that is adopted. Whatever the change is there, whatever the adoption we are doing it, re-explore it if there is a change. The third option is remove everything, run MRP like a fresh. Right? These are the three options planning mode. Okay. Right. Again, here also, I think they are given only two options in ECC. In S/4HANA, we'll see that. Okay. This is the planning mode. Then the third one is this scheduling of planned orders. How to schedule the planned orders? Here, the basic dates, whether we have to come from planned order means, here, if we select one, the planned orders will be planned based on the date which we are given in the metal master, because it is talking about planned orders, which means it is going to take the in-house production time. It will take the in-house production time from the metal master, 3 days or 4 days. Or if I want to take my routing time, then I have to select two: lead time scheduling and capacity planning. This means you need to run MRP by changing these parameters also and see what is the impact of a planning run. Okay. So now we will see that. Let us go and run these things MRP, and I will tell you. Then I will ask you to do some exercise. Okay, and you have to practice them because you have the whole day today. And then system will continue to use the lead time scheduling for the future planned orders, and if you have basic date determination. Okay, right. Then the other control parameters like also plan unchanged components. If you set this, all the components in the bill of material will be planned. If you do not select this, system will consider only the components which are required for the planning. Then system will give the alert, like whether all the parameters entered or not, please check them. Like that will give the alert. And then display the MRP list. After running MRP, I want to see the MRP list that we can have the option. And then display the material list. Which are the materials run MRP? That list I want to see. And there was an option also to run MRP on simulation mode, like this. Once you run MRP, system will show the results like this. How many materials MRP are run? How many materials with the new exceptions? What is the MRP? Which are parameters? Like this will give the list. Which are all the materials used? What are the MRP? Here you can see the material list. And here you see the all the exception grouping under which I am going to explain you. Okay, this is how the result will be there. MRP result.
This is MD of 5, sir.
No, it is a summary of this one. MD05 is the different that we are not seeing here. Okay. So earlier, right, all these parameters in many interviews, this is the core point of discussion. Once they will discuss with you what is the master data related points. If you are going for some planning position, or in SAP, if you are going as a SAP consultant for production planning, or even for MM also it will be required, because MM also it is involved some MRP run and other things, some companies. So they will ask, no, first they will ask questions related to the master data. The next they will be, if they are okay with this master data, they will proceed with this planning. The planning, the focus will be on this, all these control parameters, the different parameters, what is the impact, they will ask. All this impact by reading and by listening to me again in these things, you will be remembering means it is a big question mark. You can remember them properly only when you are practicing them. Otherwise, you cannot remember them properly. Or you will be involved in this kind of activities on day-to-day basis. Right? So this is a traditional MRP. Okay. Right. Next, we have to discuss about the MRP Live, which is the MRP in the S4HANA. Right. That we will see after the break now. But now, if you have any doubts, please let me know. We have another 1 minute.
No, sir.
Sir, who will decide the MRP, which parameter will run? It's us or business, sir?
Again, final decision will be taken by business for anything or everything. The support system is there to explain them the impact of everything. You should show them what are the pros and cons. They will decide. Okay.